And this is where we're gonna end this demo, and as you can see, it seems it's way better than the Gecko Tricopter. Although poorly armed, it only had 2 guided missiles to make it least deadly, 4 rockets that I hope it could hit anything, and a small autocannon that I salvaged from the Juggernaut. And I know how bad its autocannons are. And also the worst thing on this helicopter was it's just a modified old build that I made 5 years ago, which it has a different behavior by just hovering in the air, and it could only yaw and forward, probably built for camping playstyle. But the Pigeon 2 was built for an actual assault. Like I said already, it performed way better, almost stable, nimble, and it only cost at 506 blocks. That means for people who had a weaker PC could still play it at least at 70% to 50% time scale. The Pigeon 2 seems good, but until I did something to make it a little bit better by turning it into an actual coaxial rotor aircraft. Now it's a bit lighter, less blocks of 486, and it's much easier to aim than the previous one. But still, the autocannon sucks, and I'm still gonna keep it anyway. So that's all about the Pigeon 2, and it's time for me to go, and video is over.